This is Harry Judd for Boxing Social. I'm delighted to be joined by Sahni in the back of the changing rooms here at York Hall. Only a quick one before the press conference starts, but first of all, Dev, how are we? Didn't get to catch up with you at the Tyson Fury press conference, but yeah, how are you, mate?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. It's fun to be at York Hall, just here on sort of Queensberry duty to sort of be around Tommy as he faces off with Paul Bamber, his opponent next Sunday. So it's good to be here in a different capacity.
Yeah, spoken with Tommy a few moments ago. He's in good moods, good spirits. Obviously with the birth, with Molly May, fighting for a different reason now, Dev.
Yeah, look, it can change your life, right? I was talking to Dennis McCann yesterday, who's like 21 and has just had a child as well, and he says automatically it changed his mindset and it changes what he fights for, and he feels selfish if he's away from the child and stuff like that. And I guess Tommy, also a young man who's just had a child, is going through the same sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see what Fury, the daddy, is like in the ring.
A lot of criticism in terms of these type of events from hardcore boxing fans. This is arguably mainly a money orientated event, but what's your thoughts on Misfits boxing and YouTuber influencer boxing, that sort of thing, mate? I mean, Mayweather versus Deji, again, even saying it is bizarre, but what do you make of all of it, mate?
I think it's all just good fun. I think just don't take it too seriously. Floyd Mayweather, there's talk of Floyd Mayweather tarnishing his leg. He's not tarnishing his legacy. He's just securing the bag over and over again and entertaining the masses like he's done for many years.
But if he looks back on his career, though, where does this sit?
This isn't his career. This is like a separate thing. His career, if you look back, you'd be thinking about how he, went up to 130 and beat Diego Corrales in an amazing performance. You'd be thinking about the Pacquiao fight when he beat him after it'd been built up for so many years. Yeah, these are the sorts of things you think about with Floyd Mayweather. You won't really think about this stuff. This is just Floyd having fun around the world, cashing in on his brand. Look, and he's worked hard his whole life to make the name of Floyd Mayweather, and what he went through as a child as well. I'm hearing things about how like he almost took a bullet for his dad, like weird things like that. Where he grew up wasn't great. He probably couldn't have dreamt of being in this position now in his life, where he is just cashing in on the Mayweather name. It's amazing, and fair play to him.
Also, a bit of a flight, a bit of a journey here for a press conference at York Hall. What do you reckon he makes of all of this, please?
He's been here before.
Oh, is he? Oh, when was he here before?
I'll tell you. So when it was Gervonta Davis against Liam Walsh, one of the launch BT Queensberry shows back in 2017, the public workout was at York Hall, and he got in the ring with Gervonta Davis. They did a bit of pads, and your MC that night, yours truly. So, that's why I remember it, because I got to announce it's Floyd Mayweather. So, he's been here before. I'm sure he loves it. I'm sure he'll be back again.
Behind me now, Tommy Fury. Again, a fight with Paul Bamber. Is it moving him away from that influencer stigma that he's getting? That sort of that ITV, that sort of celebrity figure that he's getting? Is it maybe a chance to move away from that and fight on undercards on, I guess, your boxing fan Queensberry shows, maybe?
Well, look, Paul Bamber's an actual boxer, which is good. I think Tommy Fury's just about that. He's been boxing boxers, Anthony Taylor had a bit of experience as well, and Tommy Fury's about getting out there and boxing who he can, and he wants to box Jake Paul because he sees it as easy money. It's a huge fight, and he's being presented with opportunities that a lot of fighters wouldn't get presented with. If he was called Tommy Smith, he wouldn't get dangled this bag to fight this guy, kind of thing. Why would you begrudge him this opportunity? And if he wants to go on to become a champion of any sort, he can still do that. He's like 22 years old. He's so young. It's not like he's just got into boxing at in his early 30s and he's never going to be a world champion. He's never going to be an area champion. He can still look to become those things later on. Whilst this is all here, all this YouTube boxing, all these influencer boxing, whilst it's here, make your money off it if you can. And Tommy Fury's doing that.
I read a piece in the Mirror that that Jake Paul did, saying that all the responsibility, or Frank Warren and Queensberry, your team, are in the driving seat to sourcing this all that. He's putting all the responsibility on you guys for next year. What do you make of that?
Sounds promising, because if it's all on us, I'm sure it will get done. So great. I hope to see it.
You were at Chisora Fury press conference. I didn't get to talk about the criticism in terms of that. I, for one, like I've said previously, don't really see a problem with it. Muhammad Ali had easy fights in between two big fights. Yeah, we're hoping to get that Usyk fight next year. But what did you make of the criticism in terms of that fight?
I think it's largely, you can expect some of it. I think you've just got to understand that he wanted to fight Alexander Usyk in December. Alexander Usyk wasn't available. He wanted to fight Anthony Joshua in December. The fight couldn't be made. He wants to fight. He fought once in 2020. He fought once in 2021. He's so far boxed once in 2022. He's determined to get a fight in this year. So then you look down the list. Who's available? Who do people know? And actually, who's coming off a career best win? It's Derek Chisora. It's a shame that they have boxed twice before, and that's probably really the reason why there is criticism, because they've boxed twice before. Because if you took them away, you'd think, Chisora, coming off a career best win. Everyone knows Chisora. This is War Chisora. So what I'd say as a counterpoint to that is those fights were 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and they're different fighters now. And the style that he has now, Tyson Fury, isn't that fleet of foot guy anymore, and it might suit Derek Chisora a bit more the way he fights now.
And finally then, the main news circulating Tyson Fury is unfortunately that True Geordie interview. A lot of comments are around True Geordie's questioning. I mean, why would you ask Tyson Fury about Conor Benn, for example? He's got no business to speak about that. It was very negative to start off with, I think, from both sides, to be honest. But what did you make of that interview in particular?
I had no problem with Tyson being asked about KSI or being asked about general boxing issues. That's fine, because you do that. My issue was maybe you shouldn't have started off with it. But look, I can't tell True Geordie how to interview. All I can point out is, why did the interview go the way it did? My suspicion is because he maybe got Tyson's back up a bit by starting with those things and then basically telling him in 10 or 15 ways that he didn't like the fight. And he asked in different ways. He dressed it up. He said, what about your legacy? The fans are saying this, and all. It's all amounting to the same thing. And the same thing is True Geordie wanted to be the voice of the fans and tell Tyson Fury that he didn't like the fight. And if you're Tyson Fury, do you really need to just sit there and hear all of that? I mean, if someone just told you in various different ways, Harry, that you're crap at interviewing, and you
which they do anyway. I get it all the time.
Well, look, they shouldn't. But look, if your patience is a bit thin, and maybe you don't fancy the interview in the first place, you're already thinking, I've got to go to the gym and things like that, then what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean the fact that he shouldn't ask the questions about general boxing. I mean, yeah, like I understand your point to start off with. You should ask really Tyson about him and his family, how he's getting on the Netflix, stuff to really boast him up a little bit. But yeah, again,
you don't have to be a sycophant. You don't have to be like, oh, Tyson, it's great to speak to you. True Geordie's got a huge profile, and he's interviewed people of a higher profile than Tyson Fury. So he's going to have his style and his way of doing it. All I'm pointing at is the way it ended may have been because of the way it started.
And it's good, perhaps, another voice, another platform within boxing. If someone asking hard questions, we get it all the time. Someone actually asking proper questions, Dev.
Yeah, look, it's always fun. More and more voices, especially when they are as loud as True Geordie's, are always welcome in the sport of boxing. You've seen there's two people that seem to have emerged on the scene in recent weeks and months: True Geordie and Simon Jordan. Just they're making a good name for themselves in the sport, and very welcome. It's good. More people talking about boxing is just good for everyone. Good for you. Good for me. Good for everyone.
Well, we will catch up soon. A few weeks' time. Zach Parker, London show. Huge night. Cannot wait for that one. But at the moment, thanks all to Boxing Social, Devon. We will catch up soon.